and welcome everybody to the 27th official episode of Discordant Dragons. That was the amazing theme song to Miami Connection by Dragon Sound. I hope you loved it. It gets me fired up, and it makes me think about loving my friends, being together through thick and thin. And that's what I think of when I think of the Cabal. Cabal prevails. Uzulu is a British podcasting personality. He has an amazing stream. Most of you know him. I invite all of you to come check that out. We'll be doing something special in the Cabal at the end of the stream. So, if that sounds like your cup of tea, join us for that. The link is in the description, and I'll be sharing it later. Tonight is a Cabal-focused party. Everyone in the party tonight is among the Cabal. Cabal prevails. Speaking of people that are among the Cabal, my co-host, Little 3 of 12, is here with us tonight. Hello.
Hello.
We also have the illustrious, the erudite, the unforgettable, Aiden Paladin. Hello, Aiden.
Hello. I already accidentally revealed myself via my cove.
And top billing, because he's new here and a well-known Cabal personality, is the Dutch, Theo. Say hello, Theo.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Is my mic coming through correctly?
Yes. Yes, it is. Now shut up. Returning is the wonderful Ginger Monster. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Glad to have you with us again tonight, Firebeard. And last but not least, we have another Cabalite, Soldner. Soldner, thank you for being here. It's your first time on the stream as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And
well,
thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Tonight, we have a regular episode as far as structure goes, but it's a Cabal-themed one. And hopefully the memes at the end will be fun, because 100% of the memes for tonight in the Treasure Hoard have been shared in the Cabal. I want to wet everyone's whistle to see what wonderful memes that they can have direct access to if they're part of the wonderful Cabal.
Ooh.
So, with that being said, we're going to get into this here in a minute. But first, I'm going to embiggen my picture. And I would like to start by thanking the people who subscribe to my Subscribe Star and financially support me every month to make this happen. The top billing of those are Iron Roots, White Healing, Heidi Van Buskirk, and the Alabastard. Many others support as well. Even $1 a month helps a tremendous amount. If you'd like to head over to Subscribestar and help support the channel, the link is in the description, and I'll be sharing all of those here in a moment. Also, you can support the channel via Entropy. Now, the Entropy link is where all the cool kids hang out for the stream, because it has a question widget, which is where you can leave the effectiveness of a super chat without having to spend any dollars. So if you just don't want to spend money, or you don't have any, but you still want to leave messages that I will read on air, messages you can ask the dragons, me, or my party members here, use the question widget on Entropy. That's what it's for. You can also make paid chats, just like super chats via Entropy, and that is a great way to support the channel. So please do. I'll even be putting that link in the old Cabal chat there for everybody. And Entropy is the best. You can also subscribe monthly, just like Anti-Commie does. There are 4 different subscription tiers, as low as $1 a month, if you'd like to support me that way as well. And as always, you can give me dollary dues on Hyper Chats, because Odyssey has greenlit me to receive paid chats over there as well. And of course, you can always donate via Cash App, Subscribestar tips, rather. And PayPal, if you want to just send money directly via PayPal. Now, starting off on PayPal, I don't know who has the initials of BW, but remember, Mr. BW, this shows me your actual name connected to your PayPal account. So that's why I'm not reading out your name. But someone whom I don't know with the initials of BW donated an anonymous $150 tip to me this week. I don't know who you are. I didn't get an email or a message about it, but somebody dropped me some fat cash on PayPal. I thank you this week, my friend. That'll definitely make my holiday season better. So whoever you are, thank you. And if you want a shout out, let me know who it was, and I'll give you a proper shout out and identify you by the public name of your choice. Now, I have blathered on long enough. I know what you guys come here for. You don't want to hear me shill. You want me and my wonderful guests to talk to some dragons. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go to my favorite view screen here. We're going to go back to OBS, and we are going to introduce tonight's dragons. Now, before I bring up the dragons, let me ask, Soldner and Theo, are you guys familiar with the framework of the show? Do you know how this works?
Oh yeah, I have catched a few discordant dragons. Sadly, not live. Usually, usually
Because
it's the
it's
next
late for you
morning.
over there
However,
in Norwegian land, isn't it?
it's 13 past midnight
Well,
and
Solder,
going
are you
strong.
familiar with how this works?
Yeah, I've caught the show a few times.
All right, then we are just going to hop right to it. We're going to introduce the dragons now. I hope you guys are ready. Tonight's dragons are anti-capitalist erection, brown shirts, brown shirts to brown skins, the trans-Amazonian pipeline, point of contract instead of point of contact, point of contract, and fight for your white to parent. Those are the 5 dragon topics tonight.
I bet I know where the
Well.
blue one's going.
Well, those of you who pay attention might remember that last week on the community stream I teased a few of these, so some of these have been revealed already. But I've had this show ready to go for about 9 days, so forgive me for the memes and the topics for tonight being just a touch out of date. Usually, I like to make them within 3 days of current of the show. So we'll get back to regularly up-to-date memes and articles next week. But for now, we're going to do this show since I already prepped it, and I already picked some beautiful dragons for tonight, which I'm pretty sure Ginger will appreciate. So with that being said, Soldner, out of everybody here, you're the only one with military experience, right?
I've never made that claim.
Oh, I thought you said that you were ex-mil like a lot of the people in Cabal. My bad.
Oh,
Then,
no. I used to
let
be
me-
a state officer, not military.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Okay. Well, then
Stolen
we're gonna
valor, I see.
no, I'm not.
I'm
doing that
joking.
again. That's not
Dare
what
you,
I'm
Soldner.
saying.
Hey, it's
there
not
probably
stolen
is.
when I did not accept the kudos for
It
it.
doesn't matter.
Yizz-
It was
Yizz
just
stole
it was a
valor
stupid
for you.
arbitrary reason for me to make you party leader. So we're gonna skip that. And what we're gonna do is we're going to let Aiden Paladin be the party
Oh,
leader
no.
tonight.
Okay.
Yes. What this means is instead of rolling dice, since we have a big party and I don't want to fool with all of that, I'm going to nominate a party leader. And when it comes time to pick a dragon, the party leader chooses who to select the dragon or selects the dragon herself. And whoever chooses the dragon is the first one that has to respond to the dragon's quandary before the whole party jumps in to talk. So, Aiden, would you like to select the first dragon and answer the first dragon or nominate someone else to?
Oh, I really want to talk about fight for your white to parent. Holy shit.
Oh, do you now? Okay. Wow.
Oh my god. Besides the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, which has, by the way, today has been amazing.
Spicy.
Oh,
It has
the
been good.
news from that trial.
So, okay, put a pin in that. That's not for now. That's for
Pin in
next
that.
week. Okay, that's for next week.
Yeah.
We have a lot.
But
We have
this
a
has
few
also
memes.
been consuming. I believe
Right.
this topic
Right.
has been consuming my time.
By next week, he'll be walking.
So,
Please
regardless,
join the Cabal to see more of that trial.
okay, put a pin in it. Juan Williams, parents' rights is code for white racial politics. This is the
No.
one I
Yep.
teased last week.
Oh, it is.
According to The Hill, after white supremacists spilled blood in defense of keeping up Confederate statues in 2017, the GOP candidate for governor of Virginia, Ed Gillespie, said the monument should stay up as a matter of heritage. His TV advertising featured threatening images of Latino gangs labeled illegal immigrants involving murder and rape. That's because all of that's true. The racially loaded Culture Wars campaign, straight from President Trump's playbook, gave Gillespie a push, but then he ultimately lost the race to Northam. Now, Virginia Republicans are back against a new and improved Culture War campaign. The rallying cry is parents' rights. And of course, this awful, insufferable lefty tosser says in 5,000 words what could be said in 20, which is they believe having the right to parent is the equivocal to white supremacy. And so, we move now to the white dragon for tonight. Say hello to this beautiful beast.
Ooh,
All right.
very
Wow.
cool.
Those
The
are some
white-
very handsome horns.
Well, thank you very much. The white speaking with us tonight is an elder stormlord and respected member of the council. He has shared wisdom with lesser mortals for over 1,000 years, and has 2 particular things to share with the party about this story. First, he wants to point out the obvious that all politics is identity politics. Political jockeying has always been about gaining support of the populace by catering to tribal identity or currying favor with elite groups who control wealth and power and are, of course, slave to even more elite, smaller groups. So the phrase identity politics is a silly phrase that should be avoided to not sound like a vapid midwit. With that being said, he continues to his main point. No person can give atonement for a sin he didn't commit. And this tribal attack against the snow apes blatantly aims to weaponize a misplaced guilt of supposed sins of the father. Since this attack on the populace clearly isn't meant to gain the favor with the snow apes of America, he is curious which elite group or groups this is meant to curry favor with. He thanks us in advance for an enjoyable conversation.
Well, if nobody else
This
has
is
anything
Aiden.
to
Aiden
start
is the
us
one that
off,
chose. Aiden has to.
Ginger.
Aiden has to respond first.
Bonk.
Go ahead.
Did we
Aiden,
lose her?
are you there?
Oh, did she die?
Oh no.
The feds got her.
Oh, I didn't die. I was just talking to myself with myself muted. For
Oh.
a minute.
Yep.
Oh, amazing.
Well, by
No,
all
I'll-
means,
I'll-
back up. Go
So
ahead.
I accidentally had, I had a mute curse placed on me for a minute there, but now that it's over,
You made your save.
will-
You're good.
Right, I made my save. So I'll save the dragon in terms of what group benefits from this. That's debatable. That's debatable in terms of what group benefits from it. But what does benefit a lot of the political elite within our human society, regardless, is division. Keeping people divided is useful because it creates a news cycle where people can get distracted by things that aren't the, let's say, economy. So sometimes you keep them divided on racial issues or attention issues, as is the case. Well, this is the issue that's come up here in particular. Usually people will get distracted by that because it's very emotionally laden. However, the fatal error in this current the current situation that we're looking at is that you messed with kids too overtly, right? And so I think that the problem is that people will not get invested in their tribal group so heavily until you involve their children. When you involve their children in some way, people act a little bit differently, and therefore, the upsets that these groups, whoever they may be, are seeing within their push towards increasing the, let's say, making white people, for example, feel terrible about their existence for literally existing, has now finally reached a feverhead only because you involved middle class moms. Congrats, I guess.
The
But outside of
dragon
that-
says, while that is true, it skirts his question. This clear and blatant association of loving one's children if one happens to be a snow ape being equivocal to some kind of race-based supremacy or violence, to what group does that serve? Or groups?
Right, and I said I multiple groups, I guess you could say, but certainly not the snow apes, right?
Certainly not.
So
I would.
go ahead, because I
Sorry, carry
think
on.
I've kind of no, I don't want to be more precise than that. I think the reason why it's pissed off the snow apes is because it involves the children. In terms of what group it benefits, well, in this case, it benefits people who have a political gain that they can receive by appealing to non-whites, right?
You
that
can
they
name the
perceive it-
globalist on this channel. It's okay.
I know, but I'll get in trouble. Okay, so yeah, there's people who have political who are eyeing things politically that are far beyond just what happens within one country. They're aiming for I mean, they'll tell you like they want an economic global reset. They want to totally fundamentally change the economy. They want you'll live in a box and you'll be happy about it. You'll be poor and happy. I mean, and the reasons for that are multifold. But
Well, the dragon says, for posterity's sake, could you not just simply name this tribe or this group they cater to the anti-whites? Because they are clearly both anti-white and anti-Western. Why not just call them by
Hey,
that?
Well,
I
I
got a
don't
friend
think
on
the
the
dragon's
dragon.
going to let you,
I don't think
skate
there's
by.
a word.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got it. It's the Talmudists.
Let's just call them globalists.
Yeah.
That's a good word, 3. That's a good word.
I prefer communists.
How about commies? Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are commies.
Yes.
to be
Well,
fair.
them all
That word,
commies,
that
but
word can be used
globalists-
as an abstraction, because then if you attack these globalists or these anti-whites for being communists, they will simply say, "No, I'm not a communist. I've never been part of a communist party."
Well, that
And
is,
then
of
they-
course, the wonderful part of it is constant denialism.
but naming a group by the actions they take is undeniable. So, thusly,
That's true.
calling them all a single group of anti-white is wise.
I mean, yeah, I would say it is. It's not entirely communist though, but that is a large portion of it. But I would say that the communists, for the most part, are not really the people who are running the show. They are the useful idiots.
If
The
I
news-
could interject for 1 second, I completely
Theo.
agree with what Aiden has been saying up till now. That it's mostly a international globalist cabal of people that have no place to
Well,
call their own.
I would call them
Yeah.
satanic
That are-
That have
pedophiles.
been
They're not people.
ejected from many places
Oh my!
over
You guys are
the
going
course of
places with
history.
this.
Yeah,
I'm disavowing
let me
hard
just
upfront.
please
disavow.
just
It's
finish
an
my
intersection
sentence.
of
Hardcore.
many groups.
So-
of
It's all right,
people.
Aiden. We're jumping in front of the bullet for
I'm
you.
not doing it. You guys can. I'm not. I disavow. Disagree.
But
I
it
wouldn't
mostly
say
seems
this
possibly
is-
to be a if you can call them globalists, you can call them neoliberals, you can call them Marxists. It all seems to be the same type of people that have no that don't feel at home anywhere, don't have a place to call their own, but they just want more influence and more power, and the
But
way
they
that
are
they
all
seem
unified. The dragon says, but are they not all unified under dealing harm to Western kind and wanting to destroy Western civilization? Why not
some
call
of them
that?
do, most of them do, and it's mostly for personal gain that they just throw their own kind under the bus. And yes, I would definitely agree that they're anti-white.
I would say most of it is an alliance of convenience.
Yeah,
I would
it's
agree.
it's mostly
Yeah, I agree with that.
convenience.
I mean, it's
Because as
interesting.
soon as
There's
they
multiple groups
gain,
fighting even with them within each other, because you have the people that purely on ideological lines want it, and they are the ones that are actually in control, trying to slow it down and controllably, while they're the one in charge, get that system into power so that they don't feel the effects of it.
well, I would
Well,
I
to
would
be
say that
honest-
history has shown us that in many of these similar movements in the past, it's always been a cabal of convenience, not our based cabal, but a most sinister cabal that immediately, as soon as they gain power, they all turn on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that
Exactly.
certainly seems to be the way that it's functioning in society. And has historically. They always do turn on each other because, well, if you're a person who is seeking maximum power for yourself or your group, whatever that group may be, you're kind of a narcissist, I think, inherent. And narcissism doesn't end when your group maintains or obtains power. You will always want more. It doesn't end. Narcissism continues forever, even if it's vulnerable
Indeed.
narcissism. And what I
There
think
can
we
only be
see with-
one dear leader.
there
Yeah,
can only be
and
one
the
dear leader.
problem that we snow apes have is that our group is the one that is the most diverse when it comes to political and ideological thinking, to the point where we barely ourselves can discern enemy from foe sometimes.
Well, I think that unlike a lot of other groups of people, there is. Well, I mean, like, this is not. That's not true. Let me restate. There are always differences and problems that different types of people have with one another. Any tribe, if you want to call it that. But currently, the snow apes are the ones that seem to be most willing to actually call each other out. Essentially, no, every other group is engaged in group solidarity based on skin tone and predominantly, but a lot of other ideologies and social identities as well. However, due to a lot of propaganda and a lot of other things, you absolutely cannot express any kind of solidarity or even acceptance of your identity as being a snow ape under the current paradigm, right?
No positive thinking or even neutrality. It all
It's
has
not
to
even
be,
okay to be white.
yeah.
It's not even.
It's not okay to be white, according to the anti-whites that
Exactly.
control the media and defund you when you ever say that, get you in court, get you in jail, take
Yeah.
away all your ownership.
They,
Because
they
as
make
of,
they
uh,
make caring they make caring about white children and the prosperity of white countries equivocal to an unforgivable sin.
Yes, because if being white was okay, then it would be okay to operate as white. In,
Yep.
Well,
in
I was
every
gonna
way
say
that
that
means, like
in
parenting
a
a kid.
certain country around here,
Thanks for cutting off, buddy.
sorry, 3 of 12.
Bonk.
But in a certain country in the past few days, we've even seen that it is a police matter apparently to be okay to be white.
Mm.
Yep.
Multiple
I-
police matters.
I have missed out on that. I know that I saw that the "It's okay to be white" signs were coming back up into the news, but I missed why that was happening. I know
They
it was
were
like, oh, it's
posted in
another-
England somewhere,
So,
or Scotland.
as a brief aside, if to move away from our conversation with the dragon and kind of break character
Just
for a minute.
bullshit among ourselves.
Well, it
Just
wouldn't be a
bullshit for a
Cabal
minute.
episode if there wasn't internet autism. So please.
It's not internet autism.
As it were.
Actually,
I'm
it
just
Totally
really
saying-
is internet autism.
It
Shut
literally
Have you
is
up.
heard
internet
about
autism.
infinite garlic bread?
I have heard about internet. Let's not get into
No.
infinite garlic bread fucking argument.
We did,
Okay.
we did that
Okay.
when during our friendly raid to Aiden server. We did that already.
Yeah.
We'll
So
avoid that.
the thing that I find hilarious that this has come back up is that the "It's okay to be white" thing was created on 4chan's politically incorrect board as a way of trolling leftists to force them to say publicly, no, it's not okay to be white, because they have constantly denied. I mean, I guess now this was back. When did this start? 2017, I
Mhm.
think, when this campaign originally
Mhm.
developed. Was we're going to force the leftists to say it's not okay to be white because that's what they really think, and it is.
Mhm.
In 2017, they weren't willing to say that. They just got offended, and they
But
called
oh
the whole
boy,
thing
now
a
they are.
Nazi hate. But now they are overt. They are overt. Yes, it is not okay to be white. They are saying this openly, which means the campaign, I guess, in a way, is more powerful and potent than any spurg on 4chan could have ever fucking hoped. And
Yep.
it's the same thing where, like, they will come up with very simple phrases that the left absolutely cannot, they can't circle the square on. Now, again, they just don't care, and then they
Mhm.
wonder why they're losing constituents, and why they're losing all these battles.
Because
But
they
the other-
not that they had it in the beginning, but now they've lost the illusion of having the moral high ground.
Right. So the other, the other really brilliant one was Islam is right about women,
Oh yes.
which the left just couldn't.
Oh,
They
I
couldn't
like
circle the
that
square on
one.
that at all.
Whoa,
I like
that's
that one too,
spicy.
Ginger.
Yeah, that's
And
the
that-
fun,
I mean,
spicy one.
they have to accept
Yeah.
that Islam is right about women because, of course, every social justice warrior, as they were called
All
back
cultures are beautiful.
then, yeah, all cultures
Yeah,
are
if you don't,
beautiful,
if
and
you don't
remember,
let them-
But
Islam,
is a very beautiful culture
feminism.
comparatively.
yeah, if you don't let them do exactly what they wish, it's Islamophobia.
Okay, everybody be quiet. We got the half hour past cuckoo clock from Firebeard, so that
I
means
see
that
that.
it's time to wrap this up. Speaking of Firebeard, was there anything you wanted to add?
The only thing I wanted to say, and I've been wanting to say this from the start, was that I just think that the idea of referring to all of this by a racial terminology is merely playing by the leftist playing field, and that it would be far more
Yes,
accurate
thank
to
you.
just simply couch this in non-racial terms, such as via class warfare, for example, or
Oh, come on.
anything of that
That'd be
nature.
I
communist.
disagree.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
let's-
think
let's not be
There's
communist.
I think that it's
There's definitely
There's an undeniable racial component, but I actually agree with you, Ginger, that I think that a lot of it is class warfare, and it is absolutely an attack on the middle class. All of it is.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yes, they
this
do
is-
hate the middle class, but the
they
point
do.
being is that I do agree that the optics of the wording anti-white aren't fantastic, but do you have something better?
Yes,
Okay.
as a matter of fact. I would say anti-traditionalist or anti-conservative.
I'd say anti-Western.
Yeah,
or
I
anti-
agree with
that's
that.
Anti-Western's a
Western.
good one too. I'm a
I used
proponent for that
anti-Western.
one as well.
Well,
Because
if I
anti-Western
it's
may,
not
was
bad,
good.
but it's just a different word for white.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but
Well,
But
It's definitely
yes,
a
it is
different
just
word
a
for
different.
European.
Yeah,
They would also
yes,
be
it is
denying
just
the
a
fact
different
that-
word for white. But the most important thing is that you are not stepping onto their home field advantage by accepting the terminology of race.
actually,
I
I don't
understand
agree.
and agree with that, but
Well,
I really don't
I
agree.
refuse to
They're-
accept
Well, look,
their
we
terms
can
and
argue about this
terminology at
later.
this point.
Let's move on. We have 4 more dragons to get
Oh
to.
my god!
Okay, I
Well,
would
how did
love
we
to
get
talk
into
about-
this?
We can-
Aiden, you chose the best one first. We should have kept this one for the last.
we can
I
Saki
was so
circle back to
excited.
this
I'm
later.
sorry.
Okay, we can Saki circle back to this later. All right.
Aiden couldn't hold
Oh
her
yes,
load.
let's circle back.
I
Let's
couldn't.
circle back.
The White Dragon is more than pleased with our discourse, and we'll definitely put in a good word with us later. And he thanks us for everything for tonight. Now, with that being said, we have 4 dragons left. We have the Green Dragon with anti-capitalist erection, the Black Dragon with brown shirts to brown skins, the Blue Dragon with trans-Amazonian pipeline, and the Red Dragon with point of contract. Now, Aiden Paladin, the erudite, the scholar, is with us as party leader, so it is up to her to choose a dragon and face its quandary, or nominate someone else of the party to do so.
Oh shoot! Well, somebody else should go. So dice roll. All right, and I've got 3, which I'm going to just say is 3 of 12.
That's
All
just-
right.
That's the only time that's ever
That
happened.
works.
All right.
3 of 12? What'll it be?
Anti-capitalist erection.
Oh, anti-capitalist erection. Very good. This will be a short, fun one, hopefully. All right.
Every number is 3 of 12. Thanks, Dowdy.
All right. Everyone divert your attention to the screen.
Oh,
News. A 7-foot bronze statue of Harambe has been erected in New York to represent the millions who struggle under a capitalist system. And here is this horrible eyesore now. Just look
by
at
the
this god
power
awful thing.
invested in me by the Daily Star.
Dicks out for
condemn you
Harambe.
as a pedophile.
What?
Sorry, have you never seen Pedo Hunter General? It's a fantastic bit. Don't worry about it though.
All right, well, let's go to the Green Dragon. This is another beautiful one that Ginger will like. So everyone feast your eyes on this gorgeous green here.
That is
Oh,
quite
all right.
That's
majestic.
a beautiful one.
Well, thank you. The Green with us tonight is part of a large network of magical artisans who create powerful magic items and that adventurers need across many planets. He understands both large-scale economics and small-market trade, but found this claim by our media confounding. His question to the party is simple, and he hopes it leads to pleasant discourse. How does a gaudy public statue of George Floyd represent a person's struggles in an economic system?
Fucking damn it.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. God damn it. It still got me, dude.
Shall I repeat his question?
Please, because I got
Please.
distracted.
Now recall, 3 of 12 nominated, so he will be the one answering first. The dragon's question is, how does a gaudy public statue of George Floyd represent a person's struggles in an economic system?
Well, I would call it entitlement for one thing. We was kings and shit. I mean, the idea that like black people have some special languishing under capitalism is just silly. There's all sorts of black billionaires. There's black millionaires everywhere in the county that I live in. It's the richest predominantly black county in the United States. And if you know what that is, do not come and kill me, and please.
Oh, it's fine. I think I know though. It's in. Yeah, I think I know where it's at.
Yeah. It's hard
It's
enough to
alright,
get a
Bree.
chicken sandwich around here.
Don't worry, 3. We don't need to come and kill you. The
Yeah,
fact that you showed up at the insurrection on July 6th means that the government's going to get there first.
Oh, I thought because he's
There was-
living in a predominantly black neighborhood, that's gonna not live for too
Government
long.
lists aside,
I mean, yeah,
stay
it's all
focused.
boomers.
Government
Your
lists
days are
aside,
numbered,
stay
to be
focused
fair.
on the dragon's question.
Sorry.
Yeah, the point is they're trying to say that like black people like languish under capitalism for some sort of reason, and I imagine that they're trying to apply the postmodernist reason that black people can't be expected to adhere to white ideas of objectivity, punctuality, work ethic. The list
Understand
goes
how
on.
time works.
Yeah, understand how time. Color people's time.
Protestant work ethic.
Yeah, all of those things. Expecting black people to actually participate in society with any sort of level of, functionality is apparently
Having a
beyond
father.
them. So
Any
basically,
level of
the
intelligence.
Harambe statue is inherently racist. Because it just says black people ain't as good as white people, I guess. I mean, what else is there to
just have a
say?
question. I just have
Well-
a general question. Why is Harambe the representative of this? Is that a meme title or is that legit?
have no
why they built that thing?
Idea.
Yes,
I can only
I do have
imagine.
to ask.
I don't know what they were thinking, but that's the implication that it comes off with. That's the clown world, resolution of this is that, oh, they're talking about black people.
Let's make a giant ape.
Yes, a
represent
giant
them?
ape. Yes,
Oh,
a giant.
Well,
like you guys did this, not me. Like, I mean, like, it's on you.
It's like,
I'm
yeah,
not
I mean, that's what
responsible
leftists think that they're talking about when people say apes. Oh, you're talking
Well,
about black people, aren't you?
Why do they think
from
that?
what I've
Don't put
heard,
that
a lot
evil
of
on me.
people, a lot of
Christ.
internet personalities talk about with this topic is that Harambe, the whole Harambe event, and the cultural backlash, I suppose you call it, that followed that, is one of the first big shots of internet culture into mainstream culture. And
That's
so
true. That is
that's
true.
kind of what they're trying to bring to the forefront there.
Yeah,
However,
the
it doesn't.
dicks out for Harambe, Boaty McBoatface, cut for Bieber.
Coney.
Sure. Yeah,
Yet
could be
another psyop.
my child. But however, if you're trying to associate a giant golden statue of an ape with black people, I mean,
you
I'm
can
not
say it. Go
doing
ahead.
that. No, I mean, I'm not.
The
doing that.
racism
You
writes
are the
itself.
left. Like, I mean,
Yeah, it
again,
does.
we're not the ones doing this stuff. Like, the left is erecting a giant statue.
Don't,
Like,
don't,
by
don't
their
use
own
the
logic.
R word. Don't use the R word. It's anti-black. That is an anti-black sentiment.
Well, apparently,
Well,
I don't
only
know.
by
what
their
it
own
is.
logic,
is,
this is
to me,
this is
it's
anti-black.
incomprehensibly stupid. Or I guess it's not stupid. It does just portray the way that they think about black people. And by that I mean black people who are involved with this movement as well, apparently, that they also see themselves, and you can hear them say this kind of stuff, that they see themselves as slaves. They see themselves as perpetual victims. I brought up very briefly before
When you
the
say
idea
they,
of
you're talking about activists and the people who support this
activists.
idiotic movement, not a
Yes.
ubiquitous group, correct?
No, not a ubiquitous group, but people who are in support of this kind of stuff. Because if I was a black person, I would be extremely offended by that. I'm offended, and I'm I'm not black, but I mean, not ridiculously offended and getting upset. But geez, that's a rough one.
Hang on, just a minute.
Hang on,
You're not
Well,
black?
I know, right?
Oh,
But you should not forget that their side of the argument usually is the one that have the biggest amount of cognitive dissidence.
well,
Yes, they do. And what I wanted to bring up real briefly,
Do we even
is
need
that-
to talk about this again? Because I know
So,
you did a video on
we
it.
literally
I
have
mean,
a leader of BLM saying that owning multiple $1 million villas is perfectly in line with Marxism.
right,
Yeah,
of course,
as
it
long
is.
as you're only distributing to yourself.
Right, exactly. Something I brought up earlier that is actually relevant still is the idea of vulnerable narcissism, and then more particularly something called perpetual victimhood orientation, or PIVO. So PIVO has predominantly been studied in Israeli samples because now we're coming back to this, but because Israelis see themselves as perpetual victims in the conflict against Palestine, right? And what it creates, hey, it's not me saying this. There's tons of studies from Israeli scholars who have produced this research. And what they found basically is that what has been created in Israel is a group of people who feel that they are victims all the time. They feel terrible. They hate themselves to a degree. They want recompense for everything, and they have no desire for reconciliation. The exact same thing. Now, I don't know why it's not being studied in the United States, because I guarantee you would find PIVO in African Americans, because they feel the same thing. And why do they feel the same thing? I'm hypothesizing they would. I guarantee that if not guarantee, I'm pretty sure that if we reconducted the research on PIVO in the United States, we would find high PIVO in African Americans. And why do they feel that way after the civil rights movement, after everything that has happened? Well, it's the media.
Because victimhood is power with the media
And
structure they created.
Precisely, yes. Because that's exactly what happened in the Israeli sample. They knew they could get power. They knew they could get money, in particular, from being perpetual victims. So people chose to eliminate their own personal sense of agency because being a victim was more comfortable and more profitable.
And it's way more easier to get what you want by being a victim rather than being than portraying yourself as someone who is more powerful and capable of doing something on their own.
If you have
Just to let,
agency,
just
then
to let
you're
the
supposed to do
40 or
stuff.
so people watching know, we are going to be taking a community engagement break soon, since we've had some paid chats come in. So if you want to get your questions and stuff in now for this dragon or the last one, do so, or the next window won't come for about 30 minutes.
Well, real quick, Aiden, and I'd like your opinion on this. And this is definitely not my own perspective, but this could be something that's worth thinking about. Is there could be ascribed a almost religious significance to the whole golden Harambe statue, and that it's basically them
Oh yeah.
creating an idol.
Yeah.
I was also wanting to say that it's just another stage in the iconoclasm that the left keeps constantly pushing, taking away what is it, Confederate statues, Republican statues, statues of your founding fathers, and now they're just at the stage where they're just replacing it all with Saint Floyd and his acolytes,
Or in this case, a
Yeah.
literal ape. Just
A
an
literal
ape.
ape.
or in this case a literal ape. I mean, I honestly I prefer the ape over the little girl standing in front of the Wall Street Bull, but
Yeah.
still.
Oh, that still makes me laugh.
I mean, it has
One
some
thing that
implications.
Vingtor
but-
said in Entropy Chat that I was going to wait on, but I'll go ahead and say it now before we transition away, is the reason that it's not pushed or utilized here is here, meaning America, is the power structure through which this victim narrative is engineered. So I don't think that they're utilizing that here, because this is, if they tried that here, I don't know how well it would work, because this is the source of the engineering, because of the forever wars, the war machine, all of the money that props up things like the ADL, the Global Homo agencies, that kind of thing. It stems from Weimar 2.0, which is America.
Yeah, or at least that's what America has turned into.
And until the resistant group, which is basically whites in America, is disempowered to the point of where they aren't a threat, I don't think they're going to apply that narrative here, because they rely on us being stupid sheep and continuing to fund it and willingly paying taxes.
So if we're Weimar 2.0, does that mean that we've already had the second birth of a certain Austrian?
Careful, Goy. That's not a question for this stream.
Truthfully, I hope not. But unfortunately,
Where is Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. You don't want him, by the way. If you don't,
Well, no, it wouldn't be Arnold. It would be his love child with his maid.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. The totally not his son, boy that looks exactly like him, more than his actual son with his wife. Yeah.
That is my fear. I'm not only a non-interventionalist, I'm a pacifist. I know that makes me maybe the odd one out. But I know it's a cucked. I know it's a cucked position, but
A coward with an ego.
no, it's a coward with an ego. I have no ego, but I just
Don't worry, Aiden. I'm also quite fervently against the idea of violence.
I'm personally fairly in favor of violence,
I am
especially
against it.
Meanwhile, I'm like the meme of
the
I hate
whole
the
doctrine of
Antichrist.
the best defense is an offense.
And the dragon
Yes,
would like to remind you that the only real
Oh,
authority
right.
is lethal force.
Yep.
Violence
Yes.
is the supreme authority.
Violence is the supreme authority, but hopefully you would create a society wherein violence is not necessary. But that's unfortunately not the reality we live in. I'm a libertarian. I'm a pretty staunch libertarian. So my only concern, besides life, liberty, and pursuit, is not violating the non-aggression principle. So I
Hippity
don't.
hoppity.
However, I have been aggressed when you have been aggressed upon, and you're being. This is the problem: is we're being aggressed upon in ways that are not ways that you could easily define as aggression, because it's
Exactly.
not overt.
Like our
It's not
country's being
overt.
invaded by millions upon millions of fighting age men who don't belong to the host ethnicity.
Which is an aggressive act.
Exactly.
Which is an
Yes.
aggressive act. In
It's
which
an
case,
invasion.
it violates the NAP. So, yeah,
It's
some
also
point you have
worth
to take
pointing
action.
out, by the way, that at the very least, in the case of immigration of fighting age men into European nations, the actual host nations from which they derive, the local populace of those nations, also see it as an invasion. if you go to any Middle Eastern nation from which many of these quote unquote refugees are coming, you can ask virtually any of them, and they will most likely, in their own personal native language, tell you that they find it hilarious that so many of their people are being allowed into the white Western nations.
Yeah, they're
Because
being honest
it
with what
means
they're
that
doing.
they
They
are
are
being
coming here to
yeah,
steal money, stay here for a bit,
exactly.
maybe have some fun and cultural enrichment with the local
They're
wildlife
gonna
here,
enrich the women,
and
yeah,
then
that's
go
for sure.
back.
Hmm.
This
Like
is this is the time
they
of their lives. They're
themselves
having a great time on our taxpayer
they
money.
themselves see it as an invasion, as a raiding process,
They
whereas
do.
we simply see it as a, oh, let the poor things come in and do what they want. They've had it so hard over there.
Not even
I
that,
mean,
Ginger. That's
Oh,
only the
global warming
politicians
has
that
been
want it. They
terrible for
never
them.
ask. They never ask us civilians. They never ask. They never put any referendums. In the Netherlands, even they just
Exactly.
decided in 2016, after Brexit was a thing, to
That's
just
why-
scrap the referenda altogether because it every time they wanted to do something with it in our country or in the European Union,
That's
the
why the
population
nationalists.
the populace voted
that's why-
against it.
That's why the populist or nationalist battle cry of "We were never asked" is an important one, because all of these things
Exactly.
are being done to us against our will, and mostly outside of the realm of even the things that our elected politicians have a say in. All this mass migration stuff, all of this anti-white narrative stuff, it's not being enacted and pushed by people that we vote for. It's only being allowed by the people that we vote for because they're not stopping it. So, with that being said, we are going to transition now. The Green Dragon, by the way, thanks us all for the wonderful conversation and looks forward to coming back another day. So,
excellent.
before we move on to the next thing, we're going to do some community engagement here. Boop.
Oh,
First
can
up,
I put in one more thing before we go further?
if it's quick,
I
yes.
mentioned the little girl in Wall Street, and I just realized that actually them putting a small girl in front of Wall Street makes quite a lot of sense now.
It does, doesn't it? I mean, it's in a very horrifying and dark comedy way. It does.
Yes.
Harambe
Well,
was just trying to protect the kid.
We have a $15 donation over on Cash App. I do not know this name in any public forum. And remember, if you're using a name to donate with that looks like your real name, I'm not going to read it publicly. But the initials are BS, and he sent a heart. So thank you, BS, for the $15 on Cash App. I appreciate it. And speaking of the Cabal, we have a fellow Cabalite donating 5 British pounds over on Entropy to say the following. This is from Driven. Hello, Brother Driven. He says, Hail Cabal, we are very special indeed. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Cabal prevails. And so I will take this moment to remind everyone listening again, this is a Cabal-centric episode. Everybody on the panel, including myself, is part of the Cabal. And I'm putting
Cabal
that link again.
prevails.
Cabal
Cabal does
prevails.
prevail.
Cabal
It is-
prevails.
It does
it
indeed.
is the most delightful and engaging internet group I've ever been a part of. And so I am inviting everyone to have fun with us. And today, as a very special part of the treasure trove, we will be transitioning off public view to go have the last bit of the show in the Cabal. So be sure to join the Cabal if you don't want to miss out on the last 10 minutes or so of the show. So with that being said,
And if you want the URL, don't forget it's cuck.shortfatotaku.com.
that also works. But
Jesus
That also
fucking
works.
Christ, no.
but
He's
discord.uzulu.net
not
works just fine. as well.
actually joking. That actually works.
So repeat, http
Yeah, that's the coder's work.
cuck.shortfatotaku.com.
That's the coder's work.
All right. Well, that was the green dragon and the white
Ugh.
dragon down. That leaves 3 left. The red dragon with point of contract, the black dragon with brown shirts to brown skins, and the blue dragon with trans-Amazonian pipeline. So, party leader Aiden, will you choose or will you nominate for the next dragon?
I will nominate. Let me pull up
Ooh.
my dice roller again. Now I'll have to actually count instead of just okay. So
Roll us a
all right,
D3.
it's Soldner.
All right,
4.
Soldner.
Oh boy. Let's see. I think we'll go with point of contract.
Okay, the red dragon. Very good. Let me get it prepped here. Ah, yes, this is a good one. Loudoun County forces parents to sign non-disclosure agreement form to view CRT-inspired curricula.
Oh fuck! I'm already pissed. Sorry, I have to.
Same.
Loudoun County Public Schools is requiring parents to sign a form comparable to a non-disclosure agreement to view portions of the district's new curriculum inspired by critical race theory. And what do we know from this, from what you listen to me on this channel, and those of you going free with the Go Free lexicon? Critical race theory means anti-whiteism. So, the district's new curriculum inspired by anti-whiteism, according to documents reviewed by Daily Caller. As part of LCPS broader equity agenda, and there's the word equity again, that means anti-white. The broader anti-white agenda, the district spent approximately $7,700 to become a licensed user of the Second Step program, a branch of the left-leaning nonprofit organization Committee for Children. According to a copy of the NDA-style form reviewed by the Daily Caller, eligible parents at LCPS must sign the document to view the Second Step curriculum. The curriculum presentations can only be given in person, and parents cannot broadcast, download, photograph, or record in any manner whatsoever. Downloadable files of part of the curriculum are available on the website as per Second Step's copyright policy. Here's a quote. I understand that the authorized presentation of Second Step materials I am about to view is not public, and that copying, broadcasting, or recording of any kind is not permitted. The form reads, I agree to comply with the terms of the special license. According to the district's agreement with Second Step, the curriculum is not subject to traditional Virginia Freedom of Information Act laws. All right, then. We're going to leave that there and move to
Re.
indeed.
Just violate the NDA as soon as you leave.
All right. The Red, speaking with us tonight, is the same noble lord of a human and dragon kingdom that has visited us in the months past. He is glad for another chance to pick our minds about cultural issues. He finds it pathetic that the humans of the America Kingdom, who have a reputation for being righteously indignant against corrupt tyrants, have allowed sniveling curs to have such power over their lives, especially over their children. As with many things in our news, it seems this kind of decree from our evil rulers is a direct challenge to the warriors of our people to rise up and fight for their values, and he would enjoy seeing such a conflict. But with that being said, with the ramp up of protests and the involvement of mothers, he is curious if there will be some kind of unified pushback against the tyrants, and he recalls Aiden mentioning it earlier. He would like to hear what the party has to say on the matter, starting with Soldner, who queried the dragon.
Well, honestly, I would have to say the first thing I would say about it is I'd sign that NDA, record everything, and then challenge them, come get me.
That is what I would say too.
Correct.
Like in all seriousness,
Yeah.
that's what I say is screw them, take all the videos and pictures you can, make it public, and say, screw it, come at me, take me to court, I dare you. I dare you to make this a big
This
national
does sound
case.
like a very much a what is it? A blackmail into, if you're not gonna do what we're telling you to do in this contract here, we're gonna take you to court. And they probably know that they have no fee to stand on in court. However, I don't know any of the U.S. law,
It's
but
They
the
don't care.
fear.
it sounds like this
Yeah, they
is
don't care. It's
not
just they're
something
just
that
scaring
they
him.
would easily win, but it probably just takes a lot of funding to get started
The
with a
money.
process like that, and that is what scares people off, or at least
Mhm.
that
The
would
thing-
scare me off.
You think
The
that the
thing is
GOP wouldn't fund them?
it's especially the case over in America that large organizations like school boards and companies and things along these nature have access to vast sums of wealth when compared to the individual. And therefore, they are using a contract such as this as a kind of open semi threat, as a
Yes.
means
It's a cudgel.
to convince you
Yes.
not to try and fight back.
It's
Because
fear posturing. Yeah.
should they try to take you to court, or should you try to take them to court, both parties know that they will be able to just simply drag the court proceedings out for long enough so that
Forever.
you end up simply running out of money to continue fighting, whereas they will not. And therefore, they will eventually win. It
Well-
is scummy, it is horrible, and it is able to be countered by one very important and valuable weapon that they despise on our side of this argument. crowdfunding. Remember that.
Well,
Mhm.
they're very upset about that in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and you got to.
Oh, yes.
But you're completely 100% accurate in that. Yes, these major corporations or industries, whatever they are, whether it be the school board or some company, doesn't matter. They're the same thing functionally. They have a mass amount of wealth that they can use to throw at this stuff. They can hire the best lawyers, because why not? Because your taxpayer dollars pay for it, and they can hire whoever they want to defend themselves in court, and they know for a fact that the average parent can't do shit. They are functionally
The
unable to do
thousands
anything.
can. And that's why I think that it is important to
Yes.
get the message out to defy this, record everything, make it all public.
Oh,
Yes,
very
yes,
much so.
thousands can.
Completely
but
agree.
It's going to take thousands, and clearly it is working. The win in Virginia is overwhelmingly evident that the left has gone too far. I mean, they're very upset about it. Like, if you watch the Young Turks, they're losing their minds. They're pulling their hair out over it.
Good.
Because you went a little bit too far. Finally, as I said in the beginning too, you started to mess with white middle-class female parents who have traditionally been on your side.
They
because
turn the
they're
Karens
not even
against
middle class.
themselves.
Wait,
They
out in
reached a
town with
point
this
where it's no longer, oh, this is nice to have, everybody's equal, this and that. Oh, it's far away from me. It's not bothering me with
But
anything.
now the
No,
illusion
it's
is breaking
to
for
the point
millions
where
of
it
people.
actually starts infecting their lives and messing
Mhm.
with their children, and they then suddenly realize, oh no, this is actually a problem for me, and then it's probably already too late. But Virginia is a good attempt already.
Yeah, when a child comes home and asks their mother, "Mommy, like, why am I evil because I'm white?" You've fucked up. You went too far.
When your
You-
child starts making an entire Excel list of all the non-social justice things that your
Oh,
colleagues
that was
start doing
so
at work
disgusting.
or
Yeah.
at school,
Oh yeah. That's
yeah,
messed
That
up.
was sick.
it's already started. It's not an education system. It's an indoctrination system. That's all that it is.
It's
I
fascinating.
mean,
to
I'll
watch
be
them
spicy
play.
here. That's just the new Hitler Youth.
Yep.
It
is what they're
That's what
creating.
they're trying to.
The
Yeah.
Stasi.
They're making pioneers, not the Hitler Youth.
Yeah, it's more like the Stasi than Hitler
Yeah,
Youth.
it's more like.
I mean, they're
but
just
I
like
take the point Saldner was
Stitch on-
doing here.
snitching your parents.
That's
This
completely
all of
correct,
this
though.
is just simply evidence to my point that to try and fight back from the racial perspective is just simply step onto their turf and immediately
I
give them
agree.
the home field
I
advantage.
disagree, and we can argue about that later. We can even do that in the Cabal because that's a good place for such
I
audience.
agree
By
with
the way.
Yizz.
Incoming cuckoos.
I
Oh,
did hear
good.
them. They were great.
We
But
heard
they
3
have
of 12s, but Redbeards hasn't gone off yet.
Hmm.
What?
As soon
No.
as soon as
That
old
was his.
Ginger Firebeard's cuckoo goes off, we will bid this beautiful red dragon adieu, and we will move on.
Oh, it did. Well,
There we
never mind.
go.
Yep, there it goes.
Just real quick, as a last point on this, though, I think that this is what happened in Virginia. Is I have been blackpilled for a long time. What happened in Virginia was a very rare white pill of saying that white women, in particular, are finally starting to wake up, and the only way you can wake them up, apparently, is by saying you're going to fuck with their kids in a way that they can actually perceive. Because what happened, and Spoon brought this up, which is a really good observation, which is that they were at home over the COVID pandemic, and then they got to see their kids on Zoom or whatever, having these lessons where the teachers are telling them, you're evil because you're white.
Yep.
They were just, they never got to see that before. And so that's why this stuff is where it's at. And I do think that the Democrats and the hardcore leftists have taken white women for granted. And that's why you're seeing now they are engaging in an anti-white woman campaign.
It's really strange that they would, considering Trump won in 2016 with the white women
Yeah.
vote.
I
53%.
know.
Now, Aiden, just remember, the Democrat nominee will be delivered, and he will be resuscitated and kept safe until we talk
no.
with the mother what to do next.
Thank God
So
he's
now, if you
gone.
don't vote for me, you're not a white
All right,
woman.
it's 2 past, so we
ain't
have to
black.
keep moving. The red dragon had a great time again and said he'll definitely put in a good word with us tonight with the council. So, that being said, there are 2 dragons left. The black dragon with brown shirts to brown skins, and the blue dragon with Trans-Amazonian pipeline. And now, back to the party leader, Aiden Paladin. Would you like
Okay,
to
let's-
select or nominate someone else to select?
Let's roll the dice. Well, it's kind of hard now because I only have 2 left. So
It's only Ginger and I.
Even odds.
Even odds. So a even flip. All right. Call it, guys. Evens or odds?
Even.
All right. All right. Odds.
Okay, that means it's Ginger. Ginger,
I
if
guess
you're-
so.
If you're up for it, my friend, pick either the black dragon or the blue dragon, and we'll move on to the next one.
So, brown shirts to brown skins, or Trans-Amazonian pipeline. I think we can all agree that the Blue Dragon is going to be by far the most entertaining story of the night.
For sure.
So let's go for brown shirts to brown
Aw.
skins.
We're saving the best for last here, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You just say that because just like me, you have a soft spot in your heart for the brown shirts.
All right. Well, with that, let's move to the article. Here we go. Former MSNBC host labels Condoleezza Rice a soldier for white supremacy
Oh my god.
after she
Oh,
denounced CRT.
Mm,
Now, those of you that are old like me will, of course, remember Condoleezza Rice from the 90s and early aughts. However, former NBC host branded Condoleezza Rice, quote, a disgusting soldier for white supremacy.
What was
Because-
Condoleezza's role in the Bush administration? I forget.
We gotta move.
Sorry, go ahead.
In an op-ed, Tor Neblet declared that Rice's, quote, thoughts on critical race theory are completely
Oy
white-centric,
vey.
as in they revolve around the thoughts and needs of white people. Oh my God, the needs.
So
thoughts of
she
white
is a house N?
He added that Condoleezza Rice's recent appearance on The View was offensive and disgusting for many reasons, but she was who we thought she was, a soldier for white supremacy. Look at the face. Look at this face of white supremacy here now. All right.
It is. I mean, that's what I think of when I think of
I
white
mean-
supremacy, to be fair.
I mean, that's what I think of. obviously.
Absolutely.
All right. The Black Dragon. This beauty tonight. Let's get to her. The Black with us tonight is an elder worm who has worked with humanoid species for centuries and currently holds a counselor seat in the Council of Worms. She wanted to share wisdom with us, as well as collect our thoughts on tribal identity. All sentient humanoids that she deals with, especially primate-based ones like us humans, need a healthy tribal identity as a basis for society. Any creature type. As a basis for any creature type. For any society, and creature type, what the Westmen of Earth call race, is only one of the building blocks of said tribal identity. The so-called journalist in this article going on about blackness versus whiteness and all these other unhealthy words, concepts like whiteness and blackness, in her opinion, are not only counter to science or anyone intelligent who thinks on it, but weapons of language that agenda-driven people use as leverage over those they seek to use towards a goal. She believes the only healthy way to curry a tribal identity is when the focus is on the group's well-being with positive language based upon observable reality that doesn't involve another group, especially the persecution of another group. That's why she believes this rhetoric will inevitably fail. She wants to hear what the party thinks about this facet of tribal identity and what each of us thinks a healthy Western identity would involve.
Well, I think. Well, I assume that since I was the one who chose the dragon, that I should be the first to speak. Just double checking
Indeed.
here.
Indeed, Mr.
Right.
Redbeard, or Firebeard if you prefer.
I don't mind which one. Let's go with Firebeard. That sounds cooler.
Very good.
Fire beer.
So, in regards to what would make a successful Western society, I think to simply say family values, that is a bit of a that's a bit of a no-brainer. So let me take it just a step further. Tribal values. That being not just the cohesion of the people within a small family unit bonded by blood, but also the cohesion of a people bonded by shared social experience. A group of people who have lived through similar events, whether they be via war or economic turmoil or anything of that nature. These kinds of experiences on a societal level are capable of bringing people together and giving them a greater sense of unity that is invaluable in creating a stable society that is able to effectively rear children and bring them up in a safe and stable environment through which you can expect that they are unlikely to be subjected to various horrible influences that may ruin the upbringing of such a child.
So what you're describing then is an ethnicity, talking about an ethnic bond and ethnocentrism, not racial first. The ethnic, the local, the experiences, the religion, the language, the history of the people, their culture first instead of race first or something else like religion.
Yes, yes, I would say that religion is most definitely a part in that. With any religion obviously taking central place in the more spiritualistic needs of any given population group. But in terms of raw societal cohesion, it is by far the most important thing to allow a group of people to have the opportunity to exchange in their own personal ideas. The free speech, for example, is an important part of that. Basically, what I'm saying is to be able to trust your fellow man and neighbor with to be able to trust your fellow man and neighbor with the same kind of values that you would otherwise ask of a closely blood related family member. Those kinds of societies are the ones that have always been most successful in history for providing a effective building block and basis for
The
any
Black Dragon
given
agrees with
community.
you. The Black Dragon agrees with you and says, so then to sum up, what would be your description of a healthy Western identity then?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
What would be your description if you had to sum it up as what a healthy Western identity would be? A healthy Western tribal identity. What would it be?
I would say a healthy Western society would be. How many words are you expecting me to give here?
Well, you can be short.
Okay,
Sentence.
I would say the most important part of such an identity would be the willingness to accept those of a willingness to accept um, those of a belief systems that do not necessarily match your own, but a firm willingness to reject such belief systems which involve the intolerance of tolerance. So
Okay.
that is to say, a willingness to welcome anybody in so long as they are willing to integrate with and get along with everybody. If a given individual believes in values which are inherently incompatible with your own, a very important part of any good, stable Western society would be the willingness to tell such people to go take a long walk off a short pier.
All right. Who else would like to go next?
Well,
I do not agree with that definition of a good Western society.
Mm.
My definition of a
Personally,
good
I don't
Western
either, but we can save
Yep.
that autism for later. I would just like to hear from each person what they think would be a healthy Western tribal identity.
Obviously, what
Oh.
I described there wasn't my entire definition, by the way. That was just
No,
mine.
no, no. Of course, of course. My definition of a good tribal Western society would
Identity,
be
tribal identity.
identity. Sorry. It would be a what is it? A high trust society, and that would entail that most of the people inside that would have the same religion, be the same race, be the same species, and most importantly, have been with each other for a long period of time. Be that through war, be that through shared history, be that because of the amount of time they spend living with each other on the same space. All that has more to do with a society than the ideas of having the freedom to say or do what you want. It's more about the family and keeping that intact than letting other people in and about what they might think or not think. That should be not something that you need to bother yourself with. That's it shouldn't be a factor.
All right. Who else wants to go next?
I'll just say real quickly that the idea of identity is inherent to human society. So identity will always exist. It will exist in one way or another. It is impossible to eliminate identity. And if you want some seminal research on that, it's Todgeville and Turner, 1979. It's then Turner and Oakes, 1986, and then more broadly, Hogg and Oakes, kind of after the fact. What all those studies kind of indicate is that there is a need for social identity. What those studies are is social identity theory, and what social identity theory predicts, and what it has shown over, as I just kind of illustrated, like 40 years of research, is that people have a desire to be part of a society. They need it. They will do it no matter what. You can put people basically like in a glass box, and they will still seek out.
They always want to be part of a group, and they'll always continue
Precisely.
to search for a group to be part of.
Precisely. It is the basic premise of social identity theory. It is baked into our evolutionary stratagems because, of course, we wanted to do that in a more basic, kind of this caveman society. So you're always and predominantly how that does manifest is based on people who look like us. And that will mean there will be racial social identity will supersede other social identities outside of extenuating circumstances. So
in Dutch, we have a saying that's soort zoekt soort, as in a kind searches for its own kind.
Yeah, birds of a
Yes.
feather flock together is the Anglo equivalent.
Exactly.
Precisely. Yep. Precisely. So you're not going to be able to eliminate this idea of kinds seeking their own kind. Therefore, all attempts to do so, I think, are only going to backfire ultimately because people will seek their own kind.
Well, the
They do
dragon
so-
says this is a place for philosophers and adventurers to share ideas. She wanted to know from this assembled party what we thought a brief definition of a healthy Western identity would be.
Right. Sorry, got a little off track. I got excited. I got excited because I got to talk about social identity theory for a minute. But a healthy Western society, I believe, would be one that
tribal identity, not healthy society. What would be a healthy Western tribal identity?
tribal identity. Then it is a bit confusing as of an idea. Sorry, dragon. I'm struggling. How about it's okay to be white, being the starting place?
Good point. Would you like to move on to someone else now? We still have two more to answer.
Yeah, someone else.
Maybe. Sorry, maybe you would want to rephrase mine because tribal identity is a bit different from what I eventually said. I would maybe rephrase it to refusal to back down from outside forces.
That's good too.
Yes, I'd have to agree with Theo there. The ability to staunchly defend your own ideals is a very important idea of having any degree of longevity within a society.
Be they good or be they bad, you should not be judged from outside. You should be judged by your own peers. They do not.
Correct.
Others do not know the same troubles that your own people have.
But at the same time, you shouldn't shut out the ideas of the foreigner, for it's possible that the outside perspective could shed wisdom on your own situation.
Yeah,
Yep.
completely agree
Yep.
with that.
I agree with that.
If I may,
All right. Yes, please.
I would
Selden, go ahead.
say, as far as a functioning Western identity or a lasting Western identity, you want an identity that is based around the concept of family, in that, yes, you have your immediate family, but you also have the family of those that are like your meta family, your fellow tribe members.
Like your
and-
clan, for example, like they talk about in Scotland. Like you come
Well,
from a clan of people.
it's even more than that. I mean, you can have multiple tiers. It's like
Mhm.
so
your village,
I
your
grew
region,
up-
your province.
Right.
and it's like where I grew up in the middle of the woods in North Florida, which is a very, very southern region of Florida.
Florida
Oh, yeah.
man here.
Oh yeah.
That I mean, I grew up in the swamps, but it was a very
Do you still have your skills to
very
show?
traditional. Oh yes, but it was a very
pretty good.
traditional area where I was raised in it wasn't an overly Christian environment, but it was a very Christian based environment. And a lot of that was focused on the idea of, okay, I have my immediate family, but then there's also these other families that are effectively my brothers and sisters, and we look after each other. And what that gets down to is you have this shared identity that is important, and you need to work with each other to say, okay, is this the identity that we want whenever we're talking about someone else that is coming in?
Mhm.
And we are accepting of new ideas, and that has been one of the big strengths of the Western tribe, if you will, throughout the recent history, is that
Mhm.
we rapidly accept and integrate new ideas, but we also need to be able to examine these ideas and as a singular identity. And I'm sounding very collectivist when I say that, but as a singular
No, that's-
identity, say, no, we do not need this because it is harmful.
Well,
Well,
I think you're touching on something important that Firebeard said earlier about part of, especially the Anglosphere, part of our cultural identity is seeing the strength of shared ideas and letting every one of different ideas speak, so the best ideas can be heard, the worst ideas can be challenged and shamed away. But
Oh, absolutely.
we have been manipulated away from the very important second part, which is the gatekeeping of hostility from coming in to take advantage of that moral structure.
I feel that recently
think-
the said gatekeepers have been replaced by enemies for a long time.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Or,
think
or
it's
at least
very
for at
important.
least 80 years, maybe
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah, I think
150
something that's very
years.
important that you brought up that I think is key, and something that I kind of intimated a little bit earlier, which is that white people are the only group currently within the West that aren't allowed to express group solidarity. Every other group does, and they do it for rational reasons, obviously, because it's useful towards any number of reasons. So therefore, it is this idea that we should express group solidarity of it is okay to be white. It's okay. And that's being completely suppressed. Excuse me. But I think that that's what we need is just it's okay to be white. That is what's needed. It's okay.
Sure,
to
I
be
agree
white.
too. That's the best starting point, since that's where we've been attacked and weakened the most. So 3, you're the last one to share. So you've had all this time to think. So lay it on the dragon. She wants to hear what your description of what a healthy Western identity would be.
Well, since I've been typing in events 1 about how we need to fully enchain people, I'd say that's exactly what we need to be doing. We need to become our own gatekeepers, be citizen soldiers, be Heinleinian.
Hmm.
You want to fix society?
Desire to know more intensifies.
Enforce values around you.
Service
dragon-
guarantees citizenship.
The dragon agrees with what you're saying, but you're talking about a method of what to do. She wants to hear what you think a healthy Western identity is.
Well, I mean, I'm a classical liberal. I think that's the healthy thing to be, to treat everybody equally under the law and as people. Equality of
believe
opportunity.
and she asks if you believe that structure and that way of being is a Western creation and is a bio-spiritual expression of Western kind.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it came from the English, and we were established as a grouping of English colonies mostly. I view myself as an eternal Anglo, and every other American should as well.
No, the eternal
The dragon is very happy with the answers given, and thanks everyone for sharing their thoughts on such a complex philosophical question there. But she will put in a great word with us for the council and looks forward to coming back another day. So, with that being said, I would check community engagement again if we had any, but we have not had anything new come in any of the avenues that I can check here, which is Cash App, PayPal, Subscribestar, etc. So we will be checking community engagement one last time before we get out of here shortly after the memes and the final dragon. So speaking of the final dragon, that is the blue dragon with Trans-Amazonian Pipeline.
Let's
Aiden,
go, Brandon.
you're the party leader. Do you want to be the first one to answer this, or do you want to nominate someone else, like maybe Theo, since he didn't?
Theo has not yet gone yet, so Theo. Of
I
course.
have not yet gone first, so
Okay, well then, Theo, after we get through this, you'll be the first one to respond to the Dragon's Quandary. Are you guys ready?
Yippee!
I
get
am,
the
but I don't
soggy
think Theo
biscuit.
is.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure nobody is.
All right, this will be fun, I promise. Okay, here we go. Nubia writer confirms trans Amazons are part of Wonder Woman's culture. Nubia and the Amazons
fucking know
writer
it.
Oh,
Stephanie
Christ.
Williams confirms that Themyscira, Themyscira. Okay, I don't do Greek well. That
No,
Themyscira
I
has
just read a lot
trans
of comic books.
Amazons, and they will be
How?
featured in the book moving forward.
But
The
how?
writer confirmed that Wonder Woman's home has trans Amazons, and that one of them will play an important role in Nubia and the Amazons. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a modern comic book writer making a trans woman of color a main
Wow.
character? Who would have guessed?
What?
How stunning and
It
brave.
doesn't
What?
make any
No
sense.
one's done this.
Really?
All right,
She doesn't
Wow.
make any sense. We'll
Wait,
get into that.
back to article. In a series of tweets, Williams confirmed the popular fan theory that the character of Bia is a trans woman. In her own words, the answer to your burning question is yes. There are trans Amazons. One of the newest Amazons is a trans woman of color. This
I
news
never
coincides
answered.
with the celebration of Wonder Woman's 80th anniversary and comes only days after the launch of Nubia and the Amazons #1, which featured Bia's first appearance. In that issue, she is one of 5 new Amazons to be introduced after being reborn through the Well of Souls. And here is you can see how wonderful
What is that?
modern comic book art is. So
Oh,
I am
beautiful.
ye-
I love it.
What is that?
To be fair, it's a random.
Even in the
can I-
comic, they have man shoulders.
yep.
Can I?
All right.
Can I give my minor?
Go
like-
ahead.
Not yet. No.
All right.
No, it's dragon time. Then you can. The Blue visiting us tonight is a sage and sorcerer. She is familiar with the struggle between sexes in certain elements of culture, specifically political and academic pursuits, as she herself had to prove might among the stronger males of her species many times. What she finds fascinating about our world is the attack on sex itself, specifically that such reality-denying foolishness has become so prevalent in media and entertainment. Her question to the party tonight is one she hopes will lead to fun conversation. She asks, what comes next? Will short be the new tall? Will being grossly fat become a symbol of physical prowess? Will the babbling of babes become the new wisdom of elders? Or perhaps a pile of rank steaming feces will become the new delicacy of gourmet chefs? She looks forward to our discourse and thanks us in advance.
I'm sadly going to disappoint the dragon because all of what she is saying already happened.
Oh, really?
What?
Would
who
you
eats
care
shit?
to elaborate?
Tell me who eats the shit.
Well, the Pope
They're already
recently
talking about
had to
eating
get
poop
some,
pills
I
to make your
heard.
bowels healthier. I mean, it's been popular for a
Oh,
while.
Eat
but
the poop pill, Normie.
But
Is that what
in
the-
our current day and age, where the anti-white mob, as we came to consensus of calling it, is bent on making everything equal in a certain way that benefits them, and that means to put certain people in positions that they shouldn't be, and the very white supremacist way of deciding who should do what, i.e.
Meritocracy is the
what
word
is
for
it?
that.
Meritocracy. It is easier to lower standards to the common denominator, as in it is easier to cut down a tall man's legs to make him as tall as a dwarf, rather than to make some extra legs for the short man.
Aiden, you were foaming at the bit to say something about that article. Do you want to segue to you next?
Yeah. And now, however, now. I'd
Also,
like to
suffer not the tranny. Whatever media they're putting out now is the last dying lashes of a dying branch that currently only exists to consume
Yeah.
media and give it to people that that only think, oh, new product. There is no innovation. There is nothing new there. It's just a husk, a
Get
shell,
excited
a
about new
corpse.
product. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, it's just a corpse currently being kept afloat by money being put in by international, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So people might not know this about me. I don't know why you wouldn't, but I'm a giant, great big comic nerd. It's kind of in my character art. Excuse me. Arc. I don't have an arc, but I mean, I might. I don't know. But so Themyscira, the island that Wonder Woman is from, basically abducts women specifically,
Meaning
because
females.
they are, yes, meaning females because of their, I believe they're blessed by Poseidon. It's specifically an island for women, meaning biological females. It
Because woman
within
is
the
defined by
comics.
3 words: adult, human, female.
Yes.
Right.
Aiden,
But-
correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not very well versed in DC Comics lore, but I believe Amazonians, the way that they got new women was they
Wait.
go out,
They
they
kidnap them.
find a ship, they
Yep.
rape the men,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then they come back, and I believe they kill them the boys
male
if they're
offspring.
born.
They either abduct female children, or they impregnate themselves, and yeah,
rape.
and then kill the male
No, it doesn't
children.
have to be rape. It can also be a struggle snuggle.
Okay,
It's rape.
alright.
Let's just be clear.
Snoo,
It's rape.
snoo.
By the way,
Snoo.
It's virtually always rape. That's how they've indicated it. They have
The
contempt
person-
for men. They
I
are not
have
going to
a
take these
cleverism
commands.
here before we move off of it. Blood on my lasso or bun in my oven.
well, one of the main creators
Whoa.
of Wonder Woman, if you're not aware, was a BDSM bondage fetishist, which is why the lasso of truth exists, because he wanted to be lassoed by Wonder Woman. I'm just saying that's the reality of the situation. Okay, that's how it works.
Why am I not
But
You're-
yes,
I'm
I
not
also have a
lying.
big nose.
Just telling you that I don't know about that. That's just the reality of the situation. That being said, if we're going to operate within this fantasy fucking universe, then yeah, the reality is that the Themyscirans do not allow males within Themyscira. That includes anyone who has male genitalia. So this is a violation of every single piece of lore about Wonder Woman and Themyscira that has been produced since 1960. Okay,
But we
so you're
then come
fucking
back
around.
to the earlier point that I made, is that the same people that all write this stuff, they're all the same ideology. They're all the same destructive, toxic ideology that has no cognitive dissonance. Or in fact has cognitive dissonance.
I think they do have dissonance, but
They don't
so that-
care about what they write as long as it furthers their political agenda. They put
Yeah.
in and they write and they say whatever it doesn't matter.
Is this
yeah,
your
nothing
life?
else matters. Nothing else matters outside of supporting the political agenda. So you can totally shit on a 70, 80-year-old. Oh God, how old is Wonder Woman now? She's
60
older than
years.
that.
60 years.
No, it's older than that. I think Wonder Woman's actually a little bit older than that.
Oh,
'cause
okay,
I think that
whatever.
her,
At least
her-
60.
Well, at least she looks good for her age, even if the
She does.
new media pieces are absolutely dog shit.
But we're talking about an old historical American iconography figure that they are trying to change for reasons that are political exclusively. There is no reason outside of politics to do this. It is the only reason why they would do this. So
It's
yeah,
certainly
and-
not because it's what the fans wanted.
No, the fans are not enjoying it. Clearly, like these movies are not doing well, by the way. And I am
Again, yes,
enjoying.
they have never been asked.
If
I am
you-
enjoying the fact that these
Ooh.
films are failing now and they're not doing well, and they're just the hilarious fucking cope is that, oh well, just because of COVID, that's why our movies aren't doing well. No, it's because your movies suck. That's why people would love to go out and see a movie, but they don't want to see your movie because your movie sucks. That being said, like, so yeah, Themyscira as a society is female led. The way that they get more women into their society is either via rape of men or by taking in orphans. That's how, and Diana herself, I believe, is the daughter of Poseidon. It depends on the background, because stuff in
They
DC,
change it.
like,
Unlike Marvel,
Hey,
they
Aiden,
actually
hey,
change
hey,
it
hey, Aiden.
sometimes, which is fun.
Hey, Aiden, guess what?
Mhm.
It's all Greek to me.
It is.
Oh.
I'm afraid that in Dutch
if you're
it's
part of
Chinese.
Cabal, if you're part of Cabal, you have to get used to the cringe puns. It's part of the Cabal.
It's fantastic.
Yes, it
But
is.
the reality is that these comics have been going on for a very long time. Again, I think one of the main creators of Wonder Woman, and I am saying this because I've seen it, was a BDSM fetishist. That's why she has a lasso of truth, because he wanted to be tied up by her. I'm not joking. By the way, look into it. Chat, please look into it, because I'm telling you the fucking truth. It was a very fetishistic character originally, even in the 60s. Okay, so but that being said, if we're trying to give a more modernistic, I guess, interpretation of Themyscira, it would be that they would not have a transgender. It would never work. It's antithetical to the idea of what the Themyscirans are about. They are a woman-centric society, and I believe actually that men aren't even gynocentric, that men aren't even allowed on the island. They get killed. They're not allowed there.
Yep.
So I'm sorry, but if you have a pee-pee that sticks out, that counts as being a man. Okay?
But Aiden, what if PP went snip snip?
Based in Redfield.
What if PP went snip snip?
Well, hold on.
Well, then I guess the premise of whatever this shit is that he had. I'm
saying
sorry.
that men have a penis is a
Accurately.
dangerously based statement these days. You got to be.
I guess it is, but I'm guessing then that the story of whatever this is that they had their dick cut off, right?
It must have. Yes, because
They must have
they would distrust. They would always distrust this person.
I've seen a little bit. I've seen a little bit about this on the across the various YouTubers and such on the interwebs, and from what I understand is their basis for this whole the trans woman being reborn in Themyscira is based off of one of the like reissues of the DC Comics.
Oh, I'm sure.
Where they changed the lore so that the Amazons are actually souls of women that were, abused or some other horse shit during their original life. Hold on.
So what they did is they remade it, they remastered it, they
shut the fuck up.
Unleash the autism.
Hold on. And so their souls are taken by Poseidon or whoever the fuck god it was, and put into brand new bodies and then reborn through this well of souls thing. And so the idea here is supposed to be that, from what I understand that they were talking about, is that this character was actually a man that was oppressed and unable to be a woman, live his identity in life, and he died feeling super oppressed. And so the wonderful god Poseidon that takes pity on all trannies decided to take this man's soul and put it into a tranny body instead of an actual female body.
By the way, Poseidon, a rapist, let's be real, in Greek mythology.
Well, let's be real. All Greek gods are rapists.
Of course they're all serial rapists.
Yeah, they were all.
So,
yeah.
This serial rapist.
You're not narrowing it down.
All right. Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Doesn't help your case at all. I think it's ridiculous. It's also this is what I want to go back real quick to. We'll end, I think, here in a moment, I suppose.
Okay.
But goes back to the stuff that's happened in Virginia, or that happened in Virginia, where the trans lobby, whatever you want to call it, has superseded women on every aspect.
Oh yeah.
So transgender people are now more important than any other group, essentially, according to at least the left. And so women don't matter. And then they get upset when women don't vote for them, when they're saying, no, why are you upset that we're just allowing a person wearing a dress to rape your children? What's wrong with that? And that's what this comes. It's all the same stuff of, I honestly, and I would love your guys' opinions on this, because I've been trying to rack my brain as to why the Democrats are so convinced in the United States that they need to side themselves with this degenerate rapist portion of society.
Well, let's be absolutely fair here, Aiden. The
Maybe
rapist
because they're
mother
funded and
has
controlled by
actually.
satanic pedophile rapists who hate women.
Well, there's that,
Calm
but
down.
Well,
the
clearly, yeah.
the rapist mother has actually issued a statement saying that her son, and she did say son, is not actually trans. He
Yes.
just had
He likes to
a
wear dresses.
sexual emergency, I guess. I guess he's a migrant from Europe.
Ah.
Had a
Sexual
sexual emergency and wanted sex from the girl, and he had already had consensual sex with one of the girls twice before. So
Oh yeah,
why-
and don't
it's
forget
obviously
that,
she would just give it up.
don't forget that at that point it was only 10 seconds of anal penetration. It was
Well,
supposed to be vaginal.
I mean, come on, if you're having a sexual emergency and
So
you've had
he's
sex with
premature
other girls,
ejaculator.
then yeah, you should be allowed to have sex with any girl when you go into the women's bathroom in your high school wearing a skirt. You should just be allowed sex. Obviously.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what you girls all do in the women
That's
bathroom,
what we
right?
do. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we
You
do.
just rape each other. Yeah.
Well,
we just
okay.
rape each other all the time.
For sake of time, we should wrap this up and move on. Is there anything particular in regards to what the dragon asked that anybody wants to say, or can we wrap this up and move on?
It's a content
Just that this
purity
entire
spiral that
conversation
currently
topic
is
disgusts me.
making everything
Yeah, it's pretty bad,
disgusting
Jen.
and degenerate.
Well, it fundamentally disgusts me, but it also really irritates me as a big comic book fan of seeing seeing shit that I really have enjoyed my entire
Well, the
life.
dragon was
And
entertained and
genuinely
had a great time,
possible.
and she thanks us for our amusement, and we'll definitely come back another day. So,
Well,
with that-
one more comment, if I may,
okay,
is Hans, get the flaming with her.
Hans, get the flaming waffle. Yeah. Okay.
Flamen Whooper.
Yeah.
We're Flamen.
Oh yeah.
Tonight,
There
the
better be a
treasure hoard-
bicycle in that pile of gold.
I did not need to hear a horny paladin.
Tonight, I remind everyone listening that this is a Cabal party, and it's going to be a Cabal episode. And the magic item for tonight is going to be revealed in the Cabal chat only in the Cabal Discord server. So that's where the final part of the stream will take place after we bid everyone public adieu. But before, we definitely have a special treasure, which is the form of a meme video that is Cabal centric. After we have a bunch of memes. Now, for those of you watching, if you like all of the memes tonight, if you like the fun meme video that we close with before we head to the Cabal, I urge you to click that link, come be a part of the Cabal. Cabal prevails. Now, with that being said, we are going to move to the memes. And of course, since it's the Cabal, no Cabal party is complete without autism. So, those of you who may know the wizard,
Who's in the server?
Uzulu the
Jack.
wizard. Uzulu the wizard.
Autism?
This is
My
his little
server?
icon.
It's
here.
more likely than you might think.
Free PC check.
We're going to embiggen these so everybody can see them easily. There's the first meme of the night. Moving on, to let you guys know more about the Cabal. The Cabal is a big fan of Warhammer 40k. And as such, here's a great meme that I found for those of you who like 40k. Feast your eyes upon this great Titanic meme.
Aww.
Oh, that's
So
great.
wholesome.
Oh,
It's
that's
an
great.
imperator holding a little wolfhound, I think is what that is.
That's wonderful.
Oh.
See the little necklace too? That's its like was it void shield generator or whatever? That's cute. All right, moving on. Reject modernity. Bully fat women.
Based.
I endorse
It
this
was-
message.
It was deep
Honestly,
in that
do bully fat
conversation.
women.
I am Theo, and I endorse this message. We should go out whale hunting again.
Oh.
All right.
Oh,
Here's some fun ones.
Oh.
Oh, that is cursed.
She might just like the attention.
I think she does.
I think she realized what that weird smelly thing was.
Oh, is that what's
Oh,
making
no.
That's the
my hair
face.
wet?
The face.
I think this is Prince Charles's not wife after she met Biden. What was her name
face
again?
that face when you smell Biden's dirty diaper.
You mean
Ooh.
Meghan Merkel?
I realized
No.
I forgot to do community engagement before we started this, and there's a couple of things I need to address real quick here. So let's pop back out of this.
Oh.
Thank you, Bill. Camilla. That's
we
Camilla after she met with Biden.
We had Architect of Fate, a regular of the channel, Architect of Fate in with $3 over on Entropy, said, coming in late and we'll have to catch up. Rittenhouse's White Pill of the Week. I sympathize, friend. And then we have Vingtor on the question widget, good old Vingtor who's here every week, says, how progressive is a black Greek lesbian, quote, woman with a cock that hates men? How progressive is that? Pretty progressive, my friend.
It's very progressive.
Oh,
All right.
How can
Might be
we
on the top of
progress
the
beyond?
stack.
I think
All
we
she
That's-
needs
almost
was
that's
a
all-
disability.
That's all the community engagement. Sorry I missed that earlier. All right. Anyway, back to the cancer. All right.
Oh, no.
Moving on. Here's another good one.
No.
Ugh.
That would
yes.
have legitimately made The Shining a scary movie.
I mean, like, here's the thing though. He keeps being creepy towards children. It's not just like a meme. He keeps doing it.
Don't make me tap
You
the
know,
sign.
children just like his hairy legs. They see the hair
Yeah,
go up
hairy
and down.
legs.
It grows
They go
blonde in the
up, they go
sun.
up,
I
they go
completely
blonde
forgot
in the
D-Live
sun.
earlier.
Yeah.
Birdie Bassett and Fornull donated diamonds over on D-Live. And
Oh, thank
normally
you.
I invite everyone to come be with
Give.
me on the Dragon Synth
Give.
Adventure stream on Fornull after this one, but
Give.
I'm doing that thing in Cabal tonight, so I won't be at Dragon Synth Adventures, but I will
It'll
definitely
take
share
me a
the-
minute, by the way, because like all my shit got fucking freshed. So I will be on Cabal in a minute, but
Okay, no problem. No
Oh, that's
problem.
okay.
I'll
I'll
go
try
ahead and
to be,
share.
but my
I
laptop
forgot
is
to
also
share
dead.
Fornull's
It'll be a
thing
bit of a-
earlier. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat if you guys want to
disconnect.
listen to some awesome folk music, not folk music, synth music that you can use for sci-fi and fantasy games, as well as Germanic and European folk tales. So it's really cool
very
stream.
cool.
Anyway, moving on, because of course the autism pulls us off track. But France and England before, I'll dominate the world. No, I'll dominate the world. France and England now. It's my fish. No, it's my fish.
Can I get irrationally upset about this image real quick? Am I allowed to?
Oh,
real
of
quick,
course,
get
of
irrationally
course.
upset
Go
about this image. So here's the fucking thing. I live in the Channel Islands, right? The fucking French won't fucking stop coming over the fuck here. And okay, so if you're not aware, abalone or abalone, whatever, is a very, very expensive thing. It's a mollusk or some kind of
Sure.
shellfish. The fucking French come over here. We only have certain times of the year. Now, normal people here on the island, they will go out onto the beach and pull the abalone like off the rocks because that's what they do. The French are not allowed to do it. They will come over here with their fucking trawlers and do it anyway. So that image is actually extremely fucking important because the goddamn fucking French can't fucking stop themselves from stealing our fucking natural resources here in the UK, and the French can fuck off.
Those damn
I
French.
agree with you. However, I'm on the side that with the French, sadly.
Well,
Of them being able,
regardless,
it is a very rare resource that they're not allowed to take, and they come and fucking try and take it. Fuck
speaking of fish,
You know,
this is Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
No.
Oh,
You know,
not
Theo.
Beetlejuice.
you know, Theo, it really is a shame that you have to no longer attend my D&D games.
It's not that I'm siding with them. It's just that sadly I am on their side.
He meant geographically.
Oh.
You're Dutch?
Stuck
I
across
mean,
Oh,
like,
you mean
look, my
geographically.
dude, just because
We're-
you're Dutch, I mean, you have to side with the
We're
French.
sort of cocked in a cocked position of being in the European Union, and we sort of pull the same shit on the UK as well.
I know. You send your fucking
And
trawlers over
and
here
then suddenly the
destroy-
most efficient way of fishing is which is like with pulse fishing. Then the European Union decides to now we're gonna ban that, and suddenly all the
Yeah, you send your
the
fucking
Dutch
trawlers over here and
fishermen are-
destroy local fucking UK ancient ass fucking fishing coalition and stuff. People who are extra. Sorry, I'm done. I just
And
really
for
get
my
mad
next
about it.
trick,
I
I will
need-
transmit a disease I don't have to someone who's been immunized against it.
It is brilliant, isn't
I
it?
love this meme.
Oh, you have no idea how much flack I get sometimes for still not being vaccinated. I mean, corrupted.
I'm unvaxxed. I won't do it. I refuse.
Tax as well. I
Same.
never do it. I work.
Team Pure Blood, baby. All right, here we go. Next up, we have raise your hand if you've met Kyle Rittenhouse.
You know, speaking of that, according to his testimony in the court today, he actually can't do that anymore.
According to his testimony today, he ran at Kyle with a gun.
Before Kyle pointed a gun at him.
Yes.
No. he raised his gun after Kyle lowered his gun.
Because it was two different
Oh.
situations. He ran while Kyle was running towards the police. He ran towards Kyle, and with his pistol, according to his own testimony, and attempted to. Well, we don't know.
Well,
he didn't more explicate.
well,
his
look,
Let's
testimony.
be fair, Aiden. He did not chase Kyle. He made certain to
Right.
make
He
sure
doesn't
to
want
say
the
that
horse
he
chasing
did not
Kyle.
chase
He was just
Kyle.
running in the same direction at the same time.
Yes. Well, let's be very clear. He does not like the word chase, so he just ran in the same direction as Kyle while he was running at him with his pistol.
Don't
Moving
worry,
on.
nobody likes Chase.
Moving on, Republicans declare victory after reducing needless spending bill to just $1 trillion.
Dear
Oh,
God.
Jesus Christ.
I
Fuck
honestly
Mitch
say
McConnell, by the way.
Kim McConnell just die already.
Yeah, please.
Me listening to the
Hey,
government.
hey,
Me
I'm a very modern 2040 Republican. I vote for transgenders.
Yeah, but
me
you don't
listening to
vote
the
for-
government tell me I can start doing things I never
Right, but you-
stopped in the first place.
But you draw the line at
Thanks,
at
government.
necrophilia.
And that's pretty much Florida in a nutshell through this whole
True.
thing.
True.
Well, that's yeah.
All right, moving on.
I did my best.
Communist.
No, leftist meme.
Communist when you make
Is this
fun
a
of them
leftist
once.
meme?
I mean, so fucking accurate.
Unironically true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
and then
moving
they
on.
gaslit you of you being mad. Okay.
Like
Oh,
a good
no.
neighbor, tapeworm Eclair.
No.
What?
Yeah,
No,
what is
what
this?
is
Oh,
this?
that is horrifying.
What is
this?
I don't know what this is.
Okay,
Yeah,
That is an
in-
eclair that is made out
in
of tapeworm.
in
I see
America,
that.
one of the most popular insurance companies that has the
State
logo
Farm.
on the lower left there.
Yeah, State Farm.
Their popular advertising motto is "Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there."
Yeah.
So, like a good neighbor, tapeworm eclair. This is an eclair made with tapeworms in it.
Well, I mean, like, but has State Farm done anything to deserve this meme? or
No, it's
anything?
just
Well, yes.
Okay.
The treasure trove is to showcase the kind of memes you'll find in
Ah.
Cabal to entice people to
I
come
see.
join.
Oh,
Did
right,
you
right.
did you see that there's like a State Farm booth
Right.
in the new NBA game, and then they just talk to your character, and your character pretends that's like interesting.
No. Here we go. White
Hang on.
supremacy in
Yes.
America. Here we go. Look at all
Yes,
this.
you just showed that meme, but that would not encourage anybody decent to come to Cabal.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very
Also, I
true.
was scared I had tapeworms for years. It's just one of those irrational fears.
You know, I often joke that I have 2 tapeworms because I never get fat.
Yeah. They're
Knock on wood.
exactly.
Knock on
Here we
wood.
go. Welcome
Oh,
to
yeah.
2021, where the dude on the left is a brave woman and the woman on the right is a white supremacist.
It is absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, she is clearly holding a weapon of mass destruction in her hands.
How
Honk,
dare
honk.
she?
A fully automatic, semi-automatic assault carbine
Yeah,
rifle
the fully
shotgun.
semi-automatic.
And supposedly that's a cheap gun too.
It is a cheap gun, by the way. Also, makes me want to fucking off myself that that's the state that we're in.
Just
Alright,
just
but
buy a
whatever.
gun.
Buy guns, please. Everybody, while you have a chance, because it's going to end very soon, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Buy
Imagine letting
firearms.
all your grandparents die, but taking yours out of the hospital first. Or sorry,
And
the
as
elderly
usual,
home.
Yep.
with the memes, I save the spicier ones for last. So moving on. When the Thai hooker doesn't steal your money while you're sleeping, you're a good man. Thank you.
Very appropriate.
Zane and 312, these one are for you.
Aw.
All right, here we go. Last two.
Uh-oh.
I did
Oh,
not
no.
come to bring peace, but the flamethrower. Hans,
The
1034.
Flammenwerfer.
Hans finally came.
Hans
with
is
the
a hero.
Flammenwerfer. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
backed
Hans
the wrong
delivered.
side.
Hans has brought the Flammenwerfer.
Oh,
And
Yeah,
last
boy.
but not least,
Yes.
last but not least,
Yes.
Oh my god.
The Kenosha
Saint Kyle.
Dun,
Kitten.
dun, dun, dun,
That
dun,
is
dun,
absolutely
dun,
perfect.
dun.
Hang on. Yes. Yes, could you please repost that one into Cabal so that we can see it in high definition?
it's already there, my friend. That one's
That's
in
where she
Cabal.
got it
It's in the
from.
meme shrine.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it's like I said, all these memes tonight have been shared in Cabal in the last week. So I'm enticing people to come on over. I'll let everybody feast their eyes on that beauty before
It is a
before we go to
true,
the last
wonderful
thing
image.
tonight. It truly, truly is great. Now, before we move over to Cabal only and bid the public adieu, we have one amazing Cabal meme left. and it has been shown before once on this channel, and now I will show it again. So,
no.
with that being said, it is time for the legendary meme that got Uzulu a channel strike, and possibly,
No.
and possibly,
Oh, man.
Yes,
and
what do you
possibly
mean?
even shut down the first Discord. So, without further
Yes.
ado,
This is
I bring
Oh,
Yes.
I
Here it
bring
is.
it to you now, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
no.
Just saying, the Japanese here is all wrong. But okay.
Shut up, weeb.
Oi! Das ist ja Ramigadago. Lucky! Nanta dari yadarama. Sendure maro. Kiramashi sendure morida. Yodereba. Arege cracker asuruki daramano. Nani? Torre Becadaramo Shudusta Carabecadama Docho Docho Sloder. Sudidaramanda Fentaner. Oh my Darakaja, Standard Sturo. Take Murray Bretru, Arwayer. Akana, Nani Dagaro. I can't breathe.
Can I please
Oh.
as amazing, as wonderful as that video is, the Japanese
Oh,
is
this
so
is so
incredibly wrong
good.
that it deeply fucking hurts me. However, I'm willing to accept the horrible translations there.
But
Because it's
Aiden, you
too
have
funny.
to admit, the more bad and cringe it is, the better it becomes.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know Dutchoid. Like, if somebody like comes in there and says, like,
Well, okay,
They're-
Dutchoid aside, Dutchoid
Yes.
aside, we have come to the end of the public stream. I had a wonderful time with all the fellow Cabalites tonight. I hope all the viewers had a great time. Let's see, we peaked at around 50. I hope that all of you had a wonderful time. I invite you to follow the link, which I'm putting in the chat right now, which will get you to the Cabal's Discord. Come join the Cabal because we're going to be doing more in there in just a moment. And with that being said,
Yeah.
would you guys like to share the alternate URL?
Yes.
Oh, that would be
if anybody that wants to go to
shortfatotaku.com.
yeah, cock.short.otaku.com.
"Oh, Dev doesn't deserve it that bad, does he?"
Yes, he
Next-
No, he
does.
doesn't.
Next Monday,
I
we will
will-
have more Discordant Dragons. We have a special guest on from the Academic Agent Cluster, who I believe is an American guy, but he's definitely not British. A man by the name of Red Hawk, who is an authority on men's rights as well as pickup
yeah.
artistry and the way that men arrange themselves by hierarchy. He will be my special guest next week, and we will be having a male-centric episode instead of a Cabal-centric episode next week.
Sounds
So sadly,
fascinating.
Aiden, you won't be on that one, but you're welcome to come to all the
No.
rest.
Although I do identify as a man, so I kind of feel left out. Apparently.
Careful,
I've
careful,
decided
Wonder
right
Woman's going to
now.
recruit you. Anyway,
Oh, I know.
thank you everybody for being here today. Cabal prevails, and now we're going to head over to the Cabal Discord. Have a blessed week, everybody. Keep heart and speak the truth, and we will see you